All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nationwide League on Super 6 playoff happening right at the ENYIMBA International Stadium, the Elephant Park. Of course, today being the 7th of August 2026. And of course, the first game we saw OIC losing to the guys known as Blackpool, of course, by a goal to nothing, and that is after OIC lost a lot of scoring opportunities. This is the second game of the day, and it is between the De-Sapele Lions up against Roli FC. Just to go through the starting lineup of the two teams: Okoro Arinze in goal for Sapele Lions, or Dion Franklin playing from the central back position. We have Emmanuel Ozochukwu playing from the central back position. We have Jasmine Thompson donning the jersey number 3, Abaitoro Matthias donning the jersey number 20, Adams A.K. Henry donning the jersey number 6, Emeka Eze donning the jersey number 21, and of course we have Teku Abata donning the jersey number 16, Ejeba Set donning the jersey number 9, and of course you have Odumoso Harrison donning the jersey number 17, and Emmanuel Solomon donning the jersey number 26. And of course, for Roli FC, you have Ezekiel Precious donning the jersey number 1. He is the goalkeeper of the afternoon. And of course, you have Adebayo Samson donning the jersey number 31. Aho Happy donning the jersey number 2. You have John Emmanuel donning the jersey number 4. Osunde Ena is donning the jersey number 12 for Roli FC. And of course, you have Modusini Idris donning the jersey number 13, and of course not forgetting Agbowu Simon donning the jersey number 30. You have Jude Umeri donning the jersey number 14. You have Asota Friday donning jersey number 24. Austin Matthew jersey number 7, and Pasue Ugiabe donning the jersey number 21. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the sports pastor. They call me El Chijo. I'll be your lead commentator as far as this game is concerned between the Sapele Lions and Roli FC. And I'm not alone on commentary duties. I have Mr. Chusobu, popularly known as Trix the Pundit, who will be my color commentator, and he will be doing it in Igbo. Of course, it's going to be very exciting and interesting. And on that, I welcome him. Good afternoon to you, Chus, and welcome. The NLO League 1 Super 6 playoff. Well, this is where we are at now, and of course this is more like the journey to Canaan, because whoever wins here win any of their other matches coming up will be looking at getting to the second stage of the Nigerian League. And of course the Sapele Lions are playing from left to right from a sitting position, and Roli FC from right to left, and we are on the way. Choose, or are we expecting as far as this game is concerned?
Nke besi ka mmalite n'ikele ndị ọhaneze dewo n'ihoma ebe ọbụla na n'olu anyị. Nke besi ebe a wa mee egwuregwu ENYIMBA International Stadium nke n'Alaba ebe asọmpi nke Nigerian National League 1 na ha agala n'ihu. Nke besi azọpele abịa ya bụ egwuregwu amalitela. Ya bụ egwuregwu ala abụọ mara nke ha riri dịka isi kwuo sports pastor. Nke besi bụ na ya bụ asọmpi nke eji ama ndị ga-eru n'ogo nke abụọ na liigi ala anyị Nigeria. Ya bụ asọmpi tọrọ ọchịchị nke ego chegbu ndị mara nke ha riri na agba. Nke besi na egwuregwu ENYIMBA International Stadium nke n'Alaba ebe ọbụla ebe ọla si kwụrụ. Ya bụ ihu eluigwe nke mma, ya bụ nke pụtara na eluigwe ma ala so na ha na-eme dị aga na-eme.
Of course, both the heavens and the earth are in agreement that what we are doing right here, of course, the religion of football is very much acceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the pitch. And of course, the Sapele Lions are the ones who play wearing white from right to left of my sitting position, and Roli FC are wearing red top, red shorts with black sauce to go. White Sapele are wearing white top with stripes of red and white shorts. And at this very point in time, Roli FC coming forward. Of course, the man donning the jersey number 12 for Sunday. I couldn't get that one, and then he clatters into the board. And that's quite so early as far as this game is concerned. Just 2 minutes of the encounter, and we are seeing a scare already. And of course, the likes of Okoro Arinze will have to be very wary of that man. Or Sunday passes it into the midfield. Jersey number 4, John Emmanuel. The defensive midfielder in that game He decided to go from the far left. And of course, we see a clearance from Odion Franklin. Of course, the De-Sapele Lions are coming for right now. Jersey number 16 with that one, talking about Abata, but then couldn't keep that one. And the ball is out for a throw-in in favor of Roli FC. Because the man donning the jersey number 12, Osunde, takes that one, but it comes back to him for a throw-in in the De-Sapele Lions half of the pitch. Decides to go slow, interchanging there with Emmanuel. And of course, a defender is out to clear that one to safety. It's going to be a very, very interesting encounter, believe me. Jersey number 24. Of course, they're coming for right now, De-Sapele Lions. Jersey number 16, Abata. Dispossessed right there. 12, Osunde. Tries to go forward, stopped in his tracks right there by Happy. Believe me, this is going to be very, very an interesting encounter. Well, a chance right there, but then that amounts to nothing. Well, both teams seems to be knocking the ball in the midfield. And just like we saw in the first game, we saw OIC asking all the questions. In fact, they got two clear-cut chances that did not actually materialize. And at the end of the day, they lost that game. And you know, in football, we say it's a game of chances. If you don't take your chance, it might come back to haunt you. And that is the story of Blackpool and OIC. Of course, OIC ruined their losses. And in this game, both teams will have to be very, very careful. If you see a chance, half chance, full chance, quarter chance, any type of chance, just ensure that you grab it with both hands.
Imete mmeri na football kwa inwetala ụfọdụ ohere nke ilekwa anya ga-asị na ha bụ ohere ndị kwesịrị ọbụba mana igosipụta onwe ha nke ọma bụ na ndị De-Sapele Lions ma ndị ọzọ ghọtakwara onwe ha n'ihi ka ha si kpọchikwa azụ ha kwesịrị na ha makwara nke ha dị dịka ọ dịrị ka esi kwuo akụmbọọlụ bụ ihe ọ bụ onye nweta ohere mgbe ọbụla iji nweta ohere ahụ gbalịsi ike hụ na itiri ya ruo kwesịrị ịma ihe ka nke ahụ bụ akwana na ọgụ mana nke a na-akpọ ndị otu egwu bọọlụ eji maka ha hụ otu egwu bọọlụ abụọ aghọtara ndị ile anya na football nke mbụ na mba ahụ nọ ị ga-ahụ na kemgbe ahụ ndị otu egwu bọọlụ nke niile ahụ
the OIC, you mean?
Yeah, the OIC atụrụ ohere na football kwa nke bụkwa na ha ga na-achọkwa onwe ha ụta kedu ha iji ifu odeto ohere a mana ị ga n'ihu na nke a na-eme anya ya football kwa ọ ka dị otu ọwụ agala asị na ihe abụ ebe ọ na-atụ n'isi ma ọ na-atụ isi ebe nke a ma ọ bụ ebe nke ọzọ ma nke otu ihe m ga-agwa ha n'eze ndị na-ele na football kwa ndị na-ejikwa ntị ebe niile dị iche iche na football ka na-ele anya ugbu a bụ nke a na-ahụ dịka ihe ga-atọ nke ga-atọ ụtọ ya bụ onye ọbụla na-eto iche na football kwere gala Naịjirịa ma ha na football kwere gala Naịjirịa okwu ha dịzi elu ruo na ogo nke dị nsọ nke na-abụ NL nke ọ bụ ị na-ele football okwu ya ọmụma mmiri anya ihe bụ ile ebe mma.
Of course, it will be very interesting to everyone that is watching the three attackers right there for Roli FC. Of course, you have Austin Matthew, you have Otasonye Ugiabe, and of course, Kendra Raymond. They seem to be playing in a 3-4-3 formation from what I am seeing based on the team tactics. And that will mean that the De-Sapele Lions will have to rule the jungle as far as the field is concerned if they will have any sign of ensuring they get a win as far as this game is concerned. Where we have Roli FC getting a free kick and of course giving to where he shoots, but then that's really wayward, talking about Asata Friday. I beg your pardon, that's from Austin Matthias, the man done in the jersey number 7. Asata Friday is done in the jersey number 24 from the right wing. one thing that I can assure you is that the ENYIMBA playing tough is one that is very, very big, and you will need to have a lot of energy to be able to play here for 90 minutes, and also taking into cognizance the fact that it's a synthetic turf. So it means that the boys, for those of them who have not had the opportunity to play on a playing surface as this, they will need to conserve a lot of energy. As we see De-Sapele Lions coming forward. Can he be able to do it? He's been able to display his players. Jersey number 21, Emeka Eze, but then he's been dispossessed by Rolly. Of course, Friday. Playing on a Thursday gives it to Matthias. Well, of course, Friday playing on a Friday. Thank you for that correction. What a good day for him to have a few days, and if he does get a goal, you can say maybe his name actually came to bear for him choose.
Africa,
yeah, of course, Sunday back. It was more like what is it, a mix of some sort, because even that game, the final game involving Nigeria against Burkina Faso, was played on a Sunday, and what a good time to have Sunday back getting the goal, and that was the lone goal as far as that game was concerned, which gave Nigeria had third African Cup of Nations, and the only one we've won since then. I'm not sure I want to get into the Super Eagles and all their issues. Let's just... It's not a good story to tell, considering the fact, well, in the last few years, we can also say they've had a good outing in the African Cup of Nations, getting to the finals in Ivory Coast, and of course, the third place win they got last time against Morocco. Beautifully done, but then that was also off. And that is coming from the man Friday, who seems to be the better player, who has been doing all the good works right here from the right hand side of the attack trees.
Friday and ndị jigoro otu egwu bọọlụ nke Ruli FC and Kwamankom ile anya ha bụ ndị na-edu njem ọbụla ha na-aga n'ebe nke iwu mgbe ha ka wakpo ndị obodo ha bụ ndị otu egwu bọọlụ
De-Sapele Lions.
Mgbe ọbụla ha na-aga na bụ nke tara ọchịchị otu ihe na-egosipụta bụ na nwa amada na-akpọ Osunde ya na Friday ha mara ka ha ri Kwamankom.
Of course, I think I'm inclined to agree with you, because you can see how much they've been doing as far as the work is concerned. And Osunde is one player that goes back, and funny enough, he plays as a right back, but he is also drifting in and helping Friday, who also has the ball right now, going forward. When he's looking for Raymond, Raymond sees him, oh my God! Okora puts his hand to that one, and it's a huge scare for the De-Sapele Lions. That would have been it. What a beautiful positional play right there from Friday to Raymond.
I kept as onye hụrụ gbalagbalị nke ọma bụ onye oche goolu a na-agbara nze. Otu nwa amada si onwe ozigbo ohere o nwere, mana obere ohere o nwere o ji ya wọchie ya bụ bọọlụ, nke gosi na nwa amada mara nkụrụ nke ọma nke ọma. Dịka si kwuo na mbụ, akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ anyị n'ahụ ya bụ asọmpi NLO a nke na-aga bụ ihe ezigbo ihe nlereanya ga-adị na ya, dị na nwa amada chere goolu a dịka goolu o chere bụ nke nwa bekee na-akpọ point blank save.
Of course, I remember in the first game between OYC and, of course, Blackpool, well, there was a cat-like save from the Blackpool goalkeeper. I'll get his name in the course of the commentary duty. That was really beautiful. And you know, when you have a goalkeeper who is this good in between the sticks, it gives the defenders a lot of courage, a lot of belief to know that, I mean, we have someone who is not a basket. And teams actually right now ensure to have very, very good goalkeepers when it comes to football games, because at some point where your defense might be caught snapping, the goalkeeper is one person you expect to be able to come into action when it matters most, and that is what we saw from Okoro Arins of the De-Sapele Lions from a very tight angle.
Na ihe gbasara nchekwa na football okwu ya bụ onye obodo mazụ isute ha ala ya onwe ya mana ma ọ bụ ma ya nwa na ndị otu bọọlụ ha agasịnye ha gol ọ ga-eji eme ka onye ọbụla na-eche gol onye ga-enwe obi ọ bụ onye ụjọ ga na-apa.
Of course, the goalkeeper is both the last line of defense and, of course, the first line of defense as far as football games are concerned. Set is outside, motioning to the referee that he is good now to continue the game, and of course, he's been ushered in. Ejeba Set and he will be doing his very best to see how he can be able to help his team, who have been doing a lot of defensive work, but going forward they've been caught napping over and over. But they decide to go back. Of course, Jasmine Thompson is with that one. He puts it forward, trying to locate Emmanuel Solomon, but then the letter guides it very well, even though the referee has pointed to a corner. You're going to see Abata Tekuma, of course, taking that corner. I can spot 6 white shirts in the box. It's a plethora of Rolly FC Reds in the box, trying to clear the goal line. Those are chance, not yet cleared, but of course finally into the hands of Ezekiel Precious, who decides to restart quickly. When he does, but the ball just goes begging towards the throw-in. And of course, we're starting right there. You have Ugiabe, Ezekiel Precious, looking for Friday. I beg your pardon, Ugiabe, 26. Manuel Solomon into the box. Well, of course, tried to do a 1-2, but the referee says it's an offside, and that caused of that chance. Emmanuel Diabe to Harrison, and of course trying to do a 1-2 with both sets. Harrison, and then choose the offside rules. Of course, it's one that has made a lot of goal scorers not to really score as much. Prior to the offside rules, a lot of, it was more like everything flows in football. Maybe you can just take us back if you will be able to recollect when we had offside introduced in football. I know you're not Mr. Football, but you're someone who has a knack for history, and I'm not sure I can be able to remember on the tips of my finger, but then the offside rules hasn't helped football.
Anyị lee anya na ihe gbasara iwu nke nnọjọ na football okwu, ọ bụ na iwu n'ọla ihe karịrị otu afọ narị, ọ karịala narị afọ ya bụ iwu pụtara na football okwu. Ụfọdụ na-ekwu na ọ dị ka ma na-ekwu okwu maka ochie dịka na-akpọ Pele. That just pumped into my mind. Scored over 1,000 goals. Mana nke ahụ bụ eziokwu. Ihe na iwu nke nnọjọ a n'ọla ihe karịrị otu narị afọ otu narị na football okwu. Mana ilekwa anya dịka ọ dị dịka oh my God, it's also an offside. Yeah. Now we are looking at a semi-automated offside proposed by former Arsenal coach Arsene Wenger. IFAB ndị eleba anya gbasara iwu nke akụmbọọlụ okwu. Ọtụtụ mgbe ha na-ele anya sị ka arụta ya aka ebe a, ka arụta ya aka ebe a, arụta ya aka ebe a, ka arụta ya aka ebe a, maka gịnị akụmbọọlụ okwu nwere ike na-adị mma. Ụfọdụ mgbe ma ọ bụ ọtụtụ mgbe ilekwa anya na ha na-arụgharị aka na akụmbọọlụ okwu, ndị onwe ya ga-ajụ ọ na-emezi akụmbọọlụ okwu ka ọ na-emejo ya emejo. Ya bụ ajụjụ ụfọdụ ndị ga na-ajụ, n'ihi na ọ nwere nke a na-asị na semi-automated offside, bụ nke a na-akpọ nke ejizi dịka eji igwe na-eme ya, nke ndị gbasara nnọjọ na ọ bụ onye enyi nnọjọ anọjọ na otu aka ya pụtaghara otu esi kọwaa ya bụ. Mana ilewe ya nke ahụ ka o wetu ọ dị n'ụdị nke ya, mana o nwere nke iwu nke nnọjọ nke ha ma iwu nke n'ọla n'ọtụtụ afọ ihe gbasara akụbọọlụ okwu. Ịjụ ọmụnwa lee nke m chọrọ, m ga-asị ka eweghachikwa ndị nke mgbe ahụ, nke mgbe ochie ahụ, n'ihi na nke ahụ bụ iwu nke nnọjọ bụ nke tọrọ n'anya nke m. Of course, the truth is that offside a lot of times have always elicited a lot of controversies. Right now we are hearing that if any part of your body which can be used to score is offside, then the whole goal is counted off. We've seen shoulders, we've seen as much as the back heel of players, but then that's how football is. As we get back to the field, Emmanuel Solomon dashing that straight, and of course he's trying to wriggle his way through. Of course, another offside, trying to do a 1-2 with Harrison, and Rolly FC will have to be very, very careful of that man, Emmanuel Solomon. He's a ball carrying attacker, fears no one, runs into danger area.
Sapele Lions will be hoping to rule the jungle of the South when it has to qualify into the second tier of Nigerian football. The Sapele Lions. And of course, you have Roli FC. And the ref is motioning to the technical area for the medic. 18 minutes of action. And it's a free kick. That will be in favor of the Sapele Lions. This is the point where the technical area will have to do a lot of adjustments when it has to do with dishing out instructions. They will look at the fact that for the first 18 minutes, something hasn't given way when it comes to goals, and we've just seen maybe half chances as far as this one is concerned. That beautiful save from Okora Arinze. And of course, another chance that was gotten by Roli FC that was not converted. Those are the only two chances we've seen as far as this game is concerned. Both teams are still trying to get into their strides. Harrison, I beg your pardon, Solomon, dispossessed. Well, of course, Jasmine Thompson right there to do his duties. Launched in deep there by Osunde. Well, he's taken towards Emmanuel Ozochukwu. Roli FC. Because that man, Jesse number 21, Ugiabe. They have a corner. Talking about Roli FC. A corner in their favor.
Yeah, basically, here how we kebo yabo edosaba nke akoko. Obodo ndị Roli FC ndị na-aga by.
Yeah, corner for Roli FC. They'll be hoping if they can be able to make this one count. Well, that's it, but of course, it's really wayward. I will happy actually puts his head to that one, but unfortunately, it does not trouble anyone at all. We're back to the pitch side action. Both teams are still trying to get into their stride. And of course, Roli FC coming forward again. Where Jason number 4, John Emmanuel, is brought down. Quick shot, very lame. Because you can say the defender put his leg to that one. Talking about Franklin. And Ezekiel Precious trying to beat from behind. Another free kick infringement. Free kick to the De-Sapele Lions. "22 minutes of action as far as this game is concerned." Well, a chance they've just been able to clear it right now, and you can see how much a suspect in defense Roli FC can be. One thing that should be a matter of concern to Roli is the fact that while they have very, very good attackers and very good midfielders, in the defense they are pretty suspect. We've seen most of the attacks from the De-Sapele Lions have really gotten into the 6-yard box, and that would be a problem for any manager, especially when his team allows attackers get into the 18-yard box. Talk more of the 6-yard box choose.
ndị ihe na-aka ha mkpa na-agba azụ ha mana ọ dị ka ụfọdụ mgbe dịka nwa amadi a bụ onye nkụzi nke a eji n'aka na ile anya otu egwu bọọlụ rolu ya si kwụrụ ị ga-aghọta na azụ ha bụ ihe na-esichara ya ike nke pụtara na mgbe ọbụla e buru ya bụ enyere ha nwa ezigbo mwakpo n'azụ mwakpo a na-abụkarị nke ga-enyekarị ha nsogbu nke gosiri na ha onwe ha kwesịrị ilekwasị anya n'azụ ha mana onye ji bọọlụ na ọdebe nke ihu kwamgbe iji sie bọọlụ gị n'ihu Pep Guardiola ekekọga akụzi bọọlụ na Barcelona n'oge gara aga ijide bọọlụ n'ụkwụ na ọdebe nke ihu onye iro ga awakpoli gị naanị mgbe ọ ga-awakpọgụ mgbe i were bọọlụ a lekwasịnye ya n'aka nke pụtara na nwa amadi ya bụ onye na-ahazi otu bọọlụ a kwesịrị ejimaka na ọhịa ọ ga-ama ejimaka na ọkụ doro ya anya dịka onye nkụzi onye ọhazi akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ onye ọzụzụ mara nke oge nke ọma na akụ bọọlụ ụka mana a ga na-ele ya maka ga-esi adị ọ bụrụ na ha ga-ebu ike nsonye n'ọtọ ọgbụ goolu otu maọbụ abụọ maọbụ ọtụtụ goolu ole na ole sonye karịa ibe ha ọ bịa na ha mabutere ike ọ bịa na ha enweghị ịdọ mmeri akụ bọọlụ.
Of course, the first form of attack is defense, and the first form of defense is attack. That is Sunday. Straight to Raymond. Who kicks beautifully down there to the woodwork. Oh my goodness. That would have been better had it been that it was maybe if he had taken another position. That would have been better. That would have shot into the goal area. But then, oh my God, the Sunday. Yes, the Lion has to come back. Simon. Back to Zidane. Simon. Don't try to kill as you see it. Shaka, very good. Come in. Rogaibe. Let's try to build something. Rogaibe. Not just a man to almost do that. Trying to get work done there by John Franklin. Passes. Of course, trying to tackle. And he was looking for sets. Right here, the iconic international stadium. Yes. Want to roll it. Roll themselves straight to Nigerian National League. Rogaibe has a chance to pass in right way. Didn't do that well. Whatever it is that the defense of the De-Sapele Lions has been, I think they should continue to play it and play it very well because it's been helping them as this game is concerned, especially from that right hand side. Cross, of course, but you didn't want any story there. You didn't want it to get to Kendra. Let's go. John Emmanuel. Sundan. We're trying to connect to Friday. And then that's it. It's entirely the bottom Zena. Simon. Doing very well to pick that one. A.K. Henry. It's number 7. Matthew. Stretching the answer. Arinze. Nice intent right there, choose from Matthew to shoot from far from range. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper was there and the ball just sounds straight to
ụfọdụ mgbe na bọọlụ ka ị nọrọ ha anya gbaa shọt otu ahụ ọ na-egosi na ndị nwere obi na-agba ya ma tupu ile anya ka ịgba ụdịka ha ahụ eji maka ikwesị ịbụ ụzọ mara ma onye oche goolu ka o si nọrọ ọ kwụzi akwụzi ọ bụrụ na ọ kwụzi akwụzi ụfọdụ mgbe ị nọ ha anya gba ụdịka bọọlụ ahụ ọ ga-abịa n'onye oche goolu n'aka nke a bụ obere tara ọchịchị otutu mana ọ bụrụ na ole anya bụrụ na ọ dọpụrụ nso wee nke nwa bekee na-akpọ plesi tụọ otu akụkụ tiba ya bụ bọọlụ eji maka na nke a ga-aka mma
facing very tight angle, maybe angle 90, maybe angle 180. We try to give the 360, the office angle and the acute angle and all of those kind of things. Well, in our local balance, we say it's Arutu. Of course, the likes of Roberto Carlos, Felipe Coutinho, those are the guys that I know that really have that technique very, very well. The calling type of game. Because I remember Felipe Coutinho's game against Bayern Munich when he was playing for FC Barcelona. That was the game that Bayern were looking Barcelona by 8 goals. Another person we really know to have that technique is Roberto Carlos, because the great Brazilian number 2, one of the greatest defenders of his generation. Nothing has given way just yet. We're going to keep that shot from range, beautifully done there by Ezekiel Precious. Said couldn't get it led to that ball, but he had to position it in such a way that the person who was going to take the shot did, and it was really beautiful.
Nke ahụ mara mma nke ukwuu ihe ka o si nọrọ ebe ọ na-ọgba ya ma onye nke dosara ya edosa o dozibara ya edozi ma ọ dị ka nri emeziri emezi dosa gị ya n'efere sị gị nwoke ma wee ya riba mana ọ bụ nke bụ eziokwu wee dịsị ka o dị na nri a o ji orizi ya nke ọma mana izigbo onye gị ileba anya na akụ bọọlụ kwa ka nke dị mma ihe na ọ na-ahụla ka o si agala otu egwu bọọlụ abụọ ma ndị De-Sapele Lions na ndị ogbo ha bụ ndị Rolling FC ha gbara akụ bọọlụ kwuru ebe ogo ya dị ezigbo elu nke pụtara na asọmpi a bụ nke na ha gara n'anya dịka ọ na-ahụ otu nwa amadị nọ n'ala ebe ahụ dịka onwe obere mmerụ ahụ eji maka na a ga-akpọ ndị na-ele ahụ ndị ahụike dịka onye ogbuopi agbaala sị ka ndị ahụ na-ele ahụ ga-anyụbata ya mara ihe mere nwa amadị o ji bụrụ nọ na n'oge ugbu a mana nke bụ eziokwu bụ na ọ na ha agala n'anya ya ahụkwanụ ka ọ ga-esi ahụ mụkọzi asọmpi a ga-ezi ebu tụmadị akụ bọọlụ nke a na-ele ya n'oge ugbu a
They're using to Friday, signing, trying to knock the ball around. It's Raymond, it's possessed. De-Sapele with the ball. Sends it back. Inside, ready for a ride. Right. Get it. Happy down there. The future. Play on. No decides to follow. Back. The movement, and we are seeing a fan coming for sets. For sets. Injured. And Lions coming in. Has come in. The set has already left the pitch. Of course, this night, maybe also formation of the head coach of De-Sapele Lions, because we don't want to begin this number of changes so early in this game. Also, when it has to do with your points, man.
Ele anya na ọkụ bọọlụ ụkwụ na ebe nke ihe gbasara mmerụ ahụ bụ ihe na-abịa kwamgbe na ọkụ bọọlụ ụkwụ. Ọ bụ onye ga-asị ka esi were mmiri na ọ ga-ada elu, mana ụfọdụ mgbe mmadụ na-apụkwa ya ọda elu dịka ọdịdị ugbu a nwa agbọghọ emerụọla ahụ, o mebiela o nwere ike bụrụ o mebiela otu nwa amada ji onye nkụzi ha ji jikọta onwe ya na ọkụ bọọlụ ụkwụ, ihe o kpebiri ịgba n'otu ọ ga-esi agba niile eji maka na onye nke o tiri ugbu a bụ nwa amada na-akpọ Ifeanyị ịjụọ ma gị masị gị na ọ bụ ya bụ onye obunobi iti ọ bụ na ọ bụ n'obi iti eche m na ọ bụ n'oge ugbu a o kpebiri iti ya onye hụla ka o si dị ka o si dị ugbu a ọ ga-aga na-aga n'ihu na-eme ya obodo si daba ọ bụ ihe ndaba nyere ha na nwa amada emerụọla ahụ, mana ọ ga-egbochikwa ha iweta mmeri ma ọ bụ na ọ bụ ndị mmeri ga-eru n'aka, ọ bụrụ na ha bụ ndị hazi onwe ha nke ọma iweta mmeri na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a ma ọ bụ ịdara ụkọ eche m na ọ ga-egbochiri ha malụka na-eji maka na ọ bụ na ihe ọbụla ha chọrọ ime na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a ga-agara ha nke ọma ma ọ bụrụ na otu ha si lee ya anya lekwasị anya ka ọ dị, mana nke bụ eziokwu bụ na a ka na-ada ụka efu akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ agba nke mgba ga-afụrụ nkeji ole na ole ka ọ bụrụ ihe nke ọ kwụrụ ọnụ, mana a ga-ahụ ka ọ ga-esi adị.
But of course, guys, while we are on that, we saw the yellow card punched out to Manuel because Manuel is going to be number 14 for the De-Sapele Lions. De-Sapele Lions at the corner to very left side. You can see and down here on the top. His head telling the referee that yes, he's forward. When he's back on his feet, talking about Sunday. One of the stars who have been diving in the yard corner. Number 22, talking about up. Like that anymore. Like that out. Right. Like you really want to. Rolling, trying to beat something, have the De-Sapele half of defense. That's a good coming forward.
So it's good.
The pass for the first.
Ile anya ya bụ ezigbo nnyefe nke o nyefere ya si n'etiti akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ etiti ama egwuregwu nke na-agba mefio wee kụọ onye nke na-ebu ihu ya bụ onye gbara agba o ebumnobi dị elu nke ogwu gbaa ya ebe eziokwu ọ gbara ya ogologo nke mere n'ụkwụ Amadi erute ya nke a gara ịbụ ezigbo ohere nke nwa bekee bụ one-on-one opportunity ya eji maka na ọ gara iji ya wee sonye n'ọkpụ goolu nke nwere ike ime ha mmeri maka ọ dị ugbu a ọ ka bụ n'efu ebu ka na-agba ka na-ada ụkọ na na-atụ anya akụ bọọlụ ụkwa dịka ha na-agala akụ bọọlụ ụkwa ga na-emepe ihe ha na-apụta ndị mmadụ na-enwe obi ụtọ ma mere dịka anyị ọ dị ka o wee ezigbo ọ dị ka nwere ezigbo ụgbọ oloko ga na-agala n'ihu. Ụgbọ oloko na-agala n'ihu. Na-agala n'ihu.
It takes him long, but that is where warm. 3 minutes of additional time, 3 minutes more. Rolling FC or something like level 2. To make out anything. That's why I say first 45 minutes of speed is concerned.
ile anya dịka bọọlụ ụka agba nke mba si dị otu ihe ga-aghọta bụ na tupu bọọlụ abụọ akwara onwe ha dịka mgbe a malitere na mbụ ndị nke yi uwe chara uhie bụ ndị Roli FC ha kwara ndị nke ha nke ọma nke ọma mana dịka a na-aba n'etiti ya bụ asọmpi ọ bịara dịka ihe bịa dị elu ịkwa mma akwa gị ịkwa mma akwa gị mana ngwụcha ya ga-emezie ka ha abụọ ume ha lọtara ala pụta m na-ekwu ugbu a wezie ka ha abụọ wee bụ ume ha lọtara ala na bọọlụ ụkwụ a mana ka ọ dị a na-atụ anya na agba nke ọzọ nke asọmpi a ga-adị elu karịa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. The second 5 minutes of this encounter. Don't go anywhere.
It is sure.
All right, guys, welcome back for the second for 5 minutes of this very interesting encounter between the De-Sapele Lions and Roli FC. Well, first half ended goalless, and we're back at the second half where we get to see whether these two teams can be able to spring up any magic that will help them to get all the maximum 3 points and maybe solidify their stay and stance as far as the Nigeria League On playoff is concerned. They need to win as many games as possible, and so far so good. We are seeing a free kick from Sapele Lions. Taking, and he's wayward. Couldn't threaten the goalkeeper at all. Well, of course, the goalkeeper, talking about Ezekiel Precious, trying to get to Idris, but that couldn't materialize. A throw-in for Sapele Lions taken by Emmanuel Uzochukwu. Jersey number 16, Abata, I beg your pardon. 26, Solomon. Well, brought down there by Ukiabe. Because it's in the goalkeeper, Ezekiel Precious called into action. Throwing to Sapele Lions. We'll be doing all they can in order to ensure that we get something in this game. Raymond Kendra pushing it on to Idris, but then he's out for a corner. Tries to take a shot. Into the box! Where no one was there in order to tuck it in. That would have been the goal for Roli. That ball just rolled away. Without anyone coming close enough to make contact. And Okora wins it. Start from behind. That's it long. To the center. Referee spots an infringement. Roli FC have a free kick. Chance. 13. Idris still with the ball, trying to wiggle his way through, gets a throw in his favor. He leaves it for Mary to take. Takes it long into the box. Yeah. Of course, Raymond puts his head to that one, but that's a goal kick. The goalkeeper motions to Franklin Odion to take it. Odion hacks down, or rather, Solomon is hacked down by Austin Matthew. Flattering of bodies and heads right there. The referee says it's a throwing. Remember, this is the Nationwide League on playoffs being held at the iconic ENYIMBA International Stadium, which is the home ground of the People's Elephant. Chance! Finally, the deadlock is broken. It is the second minute of the encounter, and it is the De-Sapele Lions getting that goal. Beautifully done there. De-Sapele Lions roaring, and he's the man who replaced Ejeba said, talking about Ifeanyi. And he's the one that finally breaks the deadlock in the 52nd minute. Right now we have a goal on our hands.
Onochi anya nwa amadi nke na-akpọ set onye nwere mmere ahụ na agba nke mbụ ihe ka o ji sinye bụ goolu nwekwa n'ọṅụ eziokwu na ọṅụ wee otu ọ dị mana anyị ghọtachara mana nke bụ eziokwu mana akụbọọlụ ụka na-agala n'anya ya na ewetala otu ọkpụ goolu asụnyela nke pụtara na ndị ogbute egwu bọọlụ roli bụ ndị nọbụ na-agba mbọ na akụbọọlụ ụka ihule ma ha ga-asụnye goolu enwere ike sonye goolu mana ndị nke ọzọ bụla De-Sapele Lions asụnyela goolu a ga na-ahụ ka ọ ga-esi adị mana nke a bụ eziokwu ime ka ịma na ndị De-Sapele Lions bụzi nọ n'elu akụbọọlụ ụka na-elekwasị anya na-achụ akara atọ bụ nke ha ga-ele bụ nke bụ ha nweta ọ ga-emekwu n'ebe nke ihu n'ogo nke ha na akụbọọlụ ụka.
Of course, we are not entirely asking all the questions. In fact, slim chances and very few opportunities. But then, just like we said in football, once you get those chances, make sure you make it count. You could see the way they whizzed past the defenders. In fact, the defenders of Roli FC didn't know what happened to them. Maybe a dark cloud covered their eyes because they could not stop that man Ifeanyi from getting that goal. Even though from his first strike, he couldn't make it count, but he ensured to see it through to the end. And hopefully that will change the complexion of this game and make it much more interesting than what we saw in the first half. As we see Roli FC coming for 54 minutes of action, ladies and gentlemen, right here at the Elephant Park ENYIMBA International Stadium, the second game of the Nationwide League on Playoffs 2026. De-Sapele Lions coming forward again. Can they double their lead? From a distance, straight into the hands of Ezekiel Precious, where we've seen them do this over and over again, and we talked about it. It's not about having the heart to take shots from distance. The most important thing is picking a spot and then adding a lot of fire to that shot if you are intending that it ends in the back of the net.
Nke bụ eziokwu na ile anya na onye ọbụla na-agba akụbọọlụ ụkwụ were ohere bịara n'ụkwụ eji maka ihe o bu n'obi ka o were ya sonye otu ọgbụ goolu ma o were ya sonye goolu mana ịhụ dịka isi kwuo onye na ọha anya gbaa ya bụ bọọlụ nke bụ shọt nke siri ike ụfọdụ mgbe isi eti ya ike wee ebe ịrụ aka ka ọ gara gị ụfọdụ mgbe ọ na-eji ka gachi otu ahụ mana ọ bụ ndị ghọtara ka esi eme ya ọ bụrụ na isi n'otu n'ime ndị ghọtara ka esi eme ya ime otu ahụ ọ na-abụkarị ihe dị mma dịka ahụla na akụbọọlụ nke a na-ele anya ugbu a ụfọdụ ohere ewetarala onwe nke ndị tiri ebe lekwasịrị anya ka ọ gaa ụfọdụ mgbe ọ na-ebu ike ndị nke ha bụkwa n'ike ụfọdụ mgbe onwe ebe ha elekwasị anya agba ya ọ bụ ụzọ ga-esi eme ya ọ bụla ka ihe dị ka mma nwere isi adịghị nkọ nke dị nkọ enweghị isi.
Of course, there is a free kick in favor of Roli FC, one that De-Sapele Lions felt that shouldn't have been given, but then the referee has the final decision on saying every game. And we're going to see that man, Momosani Idris, taking that one. Will this be the goal that will sit there and get back into this one? Wait to see. John Emmanuel goes back to Simon. Simon looking for Friday. Says Friday. Well, of course, De-Sapele Lions are coming forward. They seem to be rejuvenated since they got that goal. Roli FC, they are not pushing. Oh my God, he couldn't get his leg to that. Throwing to Roli FC. Right to De-Sapele Lions. And of course, jersey number 14, Jude, to take that throw for De-Sapele Lions. De-Sapele Lions. Another shot straight into the hands of Ezekiel Precious. Roli. Raymond. Roli. But remember I said initially that you need to have a lot of strength to play right here at the ENYIMBA International Stadium. The Elephant Park is a turf that has a big playing surface. Well, Friday trying to wriggle his way through. Raymond chance, but Franklin doesn't want any story and he clears everything in sight. Of course, shoes are there are defenders that will come mechanical because they don't have time to. Wow! Beautifully done there, but then is a goal kick, and that was from Ugiabe. But then Chusa, we were talking about that clearance, mechanical defenders who wants to clear everything in sight. Many coaches don't like that pattern of defending because some of them feel that you can use that opportunity to turn defense into attack that will help your own team. Others on the other side of the divide feel that anything can happen, so safety first. On which side of the divide of these two school of thoughts are you on?
Onye nke nọ n'azụ bọọlụ weta ya ụkwụ ọ gbalie elu ọ dị ka onye mmiri na-eri ihe ọ bụla hụrụ ọ gafere ya aka ka ihe erila ya ya bụ ọ ga-abịa lewe anya ka m chọrọ nke ebe mara mma m ga-anọ ọ chọgotere ebe ọ ga-anọ ihe ya erila ya dịka onye nọ n'azụ a na-awakpo ya nọ n'oke mwakpo n'oge mgbe ahụ ihe ọ bụla ị mụrụ ga-egbalie ya elu kụpụ ya tọbụla ga-esi kụpụ ebe nke ihu bupụ ebe nke ihu onye mụ onwe m kwenyere.
All right, if it involves you clearing, clear it, and of course save your team from that danger first. Remember the 2018 World Cup finals, Hugo Lloris, that was the game between France and Croatia. Hugo Lloris wanted to dribble, and of course he couldn't make that count, and Mario Mandzukic finally got that goal for Croatia. But then we've also seen Raymond, beautiful chance, he was standing very well, but unfortunately couldn't connect to the ball, and that is another clear chance that has gone begging. And choose, this is one too many chances that is falling for the De-Sapele Lions that they are not making use of, which might be counterproductive at the end of the day because they are already losing by a goal to nothing.
Ihe kwuru eziokwu, ha na-atụfula ohere dịka ha si tụfuo ọtụtụ ohere na agba nke mbụ nke asọmpi ya ka akụmbọọlụ ụkwụ a ebe na agba nke abụọ ya bụ otu ihe ka ha ka na-ahụkwa ebe a na-etufu ohere otu a kedụ nke a ga-esi nweta ikike ntụmadị ugbu a n'oge ugbu a ha nọzi n'ala ihe mana dịka esi kwuo ya na onye nọ n'ala ọ na-atụ ụjọ ala nke nọ n'ala nke bụ na onye n'ala ka asọtụ ụjọ ala ihe na-atụ anya na ha onwe ha bụ ndị oliopsi onye nhazi ha onye ntụziaka ha ya bụ onye ọzụzụ ha ya bụrụ ha ọ ga-eme ka ha gwa ha ụmụazụ ya ka a pụtacha onye ọbụla wakpo ndị a chụgba ha ebe nke ihu anyị onye nọ n'ala na-atụ ụjọ ihe na-elekwasị anya ụlọ ka anyị nwee ike ịsata ụgwọ a ọ bụrụ imeri ya emerie tupu imerigoro ị ga-ebe ịsata ụgwọ mana dịka ọ dị ugbu a ha na-etufu oke ohere ma m ka ha ga-esi arụtụ aka na ebe nke onwe ha ka mana ha ga-eme onwe ha ka nwere ike ohere ndị a na-abịa ha ọkwa n'otu ma abụọ abụọ ka nwere ike tinye ya ka mmeri a ha na-achọkwa n'obe nke ga-eru ha aka.
Of course, guys, we have a free kick in favor of the De-Sapele Lions. Emeka Inzi standing behind that one with another player that I will get his number soon. Opportunity to make it 2. Can that be possible? 61 minutes of action. Of course, that is from the man donning the jersey number 6, Adams, aka Henry. Nice interchange of passes towards Friday. Well, wanted to clear, but he didn't do it very well. And he's holding his head. And he's back on his feet, and it's a corner. But Jose, let's take out a minute and talk about players and their theatrics in football games, especially when they want to do something and it does not entirely go their way. You see some of them clutching to their head, others to their legs, others will start blaming the boot, some will even be blaming the playing tough. And it's part of the gimmicks of football, but most times as an observer, when you see all these things, you think that the players are just being dramatic, or really what they are blaming is to be blamed.
Ilekwa anya ọ bụrụ na onye dị otu ahụ tinyere goolu ahụ ma ọ mere bụ na ha chọrọ ime dabara ya eche m na ọ ga-abịa rụwa aka n'owe otu ihe maọbụ nke ọzọ mere o ji onweta ya mana ile anya na dịka nwafọ Africa na-agba Didier Drogba mgbe ọ na-akụ bọọlụ mgbe African Cup of Nations agbaghị bụ Tomazụ mgbe akwa n'ama egwuregwu nọ na Libreville Gabon ya bụ ụbọchị ahụ Zambia na ndị Cote d'Ivoire gbara bọọlụ o edosa agba penalty enyere nwa amadi wee gbalie ya elu ọ bịa na-arụ aka na ọ bụ ya bụ ahịhịa nọ n'ala ama egwuregwu ahụ bụ nke mere o ji tụfuo ya echekwara m nwa amada na-akpọ Rudgule nke gbara bọọlụ na Chelsea nwafọ mba Netherlands nwa mgbe ha mgbe ọ na-arụ dịka onye player coach de Chelsea akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ ya bụ FA Cup final echefula m aka asọmpi ọ bụ mana nwa amada wee ezigbo ohere tara ọtụtụ enyere ya wee gbalie ya elu kedu ihe ọ bịa na-eme ya na-atụ aka na-azụ ụkwụ so na ọgbaala ya na-akpọ ụkwụ oyi n'obi ọsụnye ya mana ụfọdụ mgbe ọ nwere ndị anụkwa ha aga arụtụkwa aka na ha na-eme ya n'ihi na otu egwu bọọlụ mara nke ha na-egwu eke ha bịa na ebe egwuregwu ebe ahịhịa ya na-adịcha mma ụfọdụ mgbe ha na-agba onyepa ụfọdụ mgbe ndị dị otu ha na-agbakwa onyepa ị gaghị asị na ọ bụ ya bụ ihe mana ụfọdụ mgbe ọtụtụ mgbe karị ọ na-abụ ihe onye bu n'obi na-adabara ya ọchọ oge jigide aka ebe ahụ ụfọdụ mgbe ọ na-abụ na nwa bekee onye Igbo si ala Igbo kwuru na ma ịhụ ebe a ga-ebigide aka ebigide ya n'ikpere e nwere ebe ihe ga-arụ aka sị na ihe mere ji gba onye ka ị gbara ebe ọ na-ama egwuregwu ọ bụrụ aja ama egwuregwu ọ bụrụ ahịhịa n'ebe ahụ ọ bụrụ na-akụ bọọlụ ahụ iji na-agba akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ bụ ha ma ọ bụ akpụkpọ iyi gị ibegide ya ụfọdụ mgbe mgbe na-achịkwa na ọ bụ oke ifufe na-efe n'ama egwuregwu mere ha ji gba onye kwa na-anụ ọtụtụ ihe dị otu ahụ ụfọdụ achịkwa na ọ bụ ndị na-akwado ha na-adịghị akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ ya bụ supporters club fans ndị na-akwado ha ma ndị na-asị na ndị fans ha na-ekwe ha emu na-akwa ha emu na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a na-ekwe ha ekwufe akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ na ọ bịa ha megwu gba onye kwa ọtụtụ ihe ndị a na-ebegide na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ jiri eju mana gị onwe gị na-eti akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ sị mana ọ bụ ihe ndị asụsụ na ihe nọ n'ime akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ nke ọ bụla ị hụrụ n'ụbọchị gị nagide ya tie ịgba
Of course, back to the big side action, 65 minutes of action, and truth be told, since the De-Sapele Lions got that goal, they've been on the back foot. We've seen Rolling FC mounting more pressure in order to see whether they can get back into this one. And so far, so good. That hasn't really materialized anything yet. However, we can also give them some adulations and laud them for actually pushing attack. And unfortunately, the likes of Raymond and Austin Matthew and Ogiabe have not been able to come to the party, not forgetting Abata Friday. But then it's football, and you have maybe 25 more minutes to the end of this one, and you have to ensure that you make it count. At 35 more minutes, I beg your pardon, or maybe less than that. You have to ensure to make it count, because 1 second is enough to change the coloration of a game.
Kabeziokwu otu nkeji ma ọ bụrụ otu tenkom ezuola gị ime ịgbanwe otu akụ bọọlụ kwụsị aga ihe otu ihe ọ bụla ị ga-akpụrụ oche gị azụ dịka eziokwu achọm iji ike na-arụ aka ihe na mba ofesi dịka gbakipụta mazụ nke Champions League afọ 2006 Arsenal na Barcelona. Ọ bụ ị ga-echeta aka na akụ bọọlụ ahụ ọ bụ otu tenkom ma ọ bụ ihe kapụsị n'otu nkeji otu ihe mere wepụ otu onye ti ibe ya otu ihe akụ bọọlụ agbanwere sizie n'ebe nke Arsenal ọ nọ gafee otu ogbe ike Barcelona. Ọ na-eme na akụ bọọlụ
Reminiscent of what we saw in the 2012 Champions League quarterfinals between Chelsea and Barcelona. Of course, why Barcelona? We are thinking that they were coasting home to victory. Remember that very famous goal from Fernando Torres, and of course they changed the coloration of the game and saw Chelsea winning the game, and of course sending Barcelona out en route to the finals, where they were also lucky because Bayern Munich were already running away with the Champions League until Didier Drogba happened in the closing stages of that one, and we saw the game go through extra time and of course to penalties that Chelsea finally won. So in football, anything is possible. A second is more than enough to change a game. 67 minutes of action, ladies and gentlemen. Free kick to the De-Sapele Lions right here at the ENYIMBA International Stadium, the Elephant Park. A stadium that has hosted the CAF Champions League final, hosted a lot of games. Even ex-internationals have played right here for the Super Eagles and ex-Super Eagles and ex-ENYIMBA legends have played here when the stadium was officially opened again back in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, just like I said, a free kick. The players of the De-Sapele Lions are actually standing behind that one.
Ịma ele anya na akụ bọọlụ kwa ohere na ha adịla nya bụ edosa agba nke nọte obere ọha anya ya bụ nke nwa bekee na-akpọ free kick. Ilekwa anya ebe ọ nọ ya bụ igbe nke ọ bụ nwa amada na-akpọ Austin Jejo Kocha mgbe ọ na-akpọ Super Eagles bọọlụ ihe ebere ebe ọ na-agba ya otu mgbe ọ gbaa ya ọbaa na nwa amada na-akpọ David Beckham ya ndị mara ya agba ya ndị dịka Andre Pelo ndị dị iche iche dịka onye agbaala ya ọ ga-aba ayị obere ka ọ bụ mana obele kwasịrị anya obele kwasịrị anya ọ chọrọ iti ya bụ bọọlụ mana ebe ahụ
yeah, he was looking at the top right corner, and I'm sure that was the angle he was going. The technique, just like we've always pointed out over and over, is more important. Let me tell you a story. I remember watching a free kick of the Chelsea guys, and it was Cole Palmer who was playing that free kick, and he kept playing and kept losing most of them. Frank Lampard of course, it was a practice kick, and of course Frank Lampard was somewhere in the stands watching him and told him, come, when you want to take a free kick, in fact, whenever you want to hit the ball, you divide it into 4 equal halves, and then if you are looking to go towards that angle, you have to take the ball from right under an angle to get what you want. Just like you say, there are not so many players that know how to add technique to a game beyond shooting. There is also the part of technique. The equalizer. 69 minutes of action. 69 minutes of action, and finally the heavens have made it count for them. Truth. They kept pushing, they kept probing, and finally they got an answer.
Nke a bụ ezigbo ohere ha wetara ugbu a ha saala ugbu a na nkeji 19 nke pụtara na akụ bọọlụ ụwa ka fọdụ nkeji 21 ha satala ụgwọ nke kwa n'eziokwu ejuọ m gasị na nke akwa na ụgwọ ha sara nke kwesịrị ekwesị n'ihi na ha agbaala mbọ ọ na-abụkwa onye gbakwanụ mbọ gbaa mbọ nke ịracha n'oloma because onye gba bọọlụ ọracha oroma mana dịka ọ dị ihe etinyela ịgba ha bụ nke kwesịrị ekwesị ọbaala ha etinyela ịgba nke ọma ha dịbụ na-aga n'ihu nke ọma ka bụrụ na ha ga-asa ụgwọ a dịka ọ dị nọkwala ebe a nọ bụ mbụ o derela oge ebere na mgbagbu akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ nke a ọ na-ejiela nke bụ eziokwu dịka ọ dị ọ bụzi otu ọgbọ otu egwu bọọlụ De-Sapele Lions FC wee otu ọkpụ ka ha ji dịka Roli FC jikwa otu ọkpụ dị ugbu a dịka ha ndị Sapele FC na-aga malitekwa akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a dịka nke na-akpọ kick-off ka amalite ebe a kwụsịrị ka hozie otu nkeji 21 fọdụrụ afọ na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ ga-esi agwụ mana ihe onye ogbu opi ga-atụkwasị n'elu ya dịka akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ na ha gara n'anya ya dịka ọ dị ugbu a ka bụ otu ọgbụ na ama egwuregwu ENYIMBA International Stadium ama egwuregwu tara ọchịcha ama egwuregwu mara nke ori nke ọma dịka otu ogo abụọ ndị mara nke ha riri na-eti ịgba n'ogo dị elu Nigerian National Wide League 1 playoff ENYIMBA Aba 2026.
Of course, we have a game on our hand, and what a way to ask questions and what a way to get the responses, because just like I said, ever since the De-Sapele Lions got that goal in the 52nd minute, they were on the back foot. Roli FC wanted it, and finally they had it. Well, in the 69 minutes, another opportunity still on the cards to maybe take this game off the hands of the De-Sapele Lions. Of course, we've also seen Sapele Lions, I beg your pardon, Roli FC bringing some players. Of course, Godwin Emmanuel coming in, and you also have Adeyemi Adiola also coming in. John Emmanuel has left, and a player wearing the JC number 10 will get his name pretty soon. Also came in for Roli FC.
Ka ọ dị ugbu a ha emeela mgbanwe dị iche iche mgbanwe mmadụ atọ ka ha tiri n'otu ugboro akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a dịka eleela m anya n'elekere ukwu nke nọ n'ama egwuregwu ENYIMBA ị ga-ahụ na ọha na-agwa m na agbala nkeji 71 na-agazi nkeji 72 n'akụm egwuregwu nke a na asọmpi nke atọrọ ọchịchị mana ka ọ dị ugbu a aka na-adọ otu ọgbọ dịka ọ dị otu egwu bọọlụ ndị Roli ka na-akwa aka na-eme ha bụ ndị ga-aga n'ihu ha na-achọ otu ọkpụ ha ga-eji gaa n'ihu n'oge ugbu a ma mmadụ nke ahịa akara nke 11 n'azụ ya were gbalie bọọlụ elu iji gosikwa na o nwere ihe bu n'obi dịka ọ dị ndị mmadụ a na-ekwusị na ogbu oge nwere plans nke pụtara na ihe onye ọbụla na-eme onwe ebumnobi o mere o ji na-eme ya ọ dị ugbu a na-agala anya ya dịka ihe a bụ nke a na-atọbata nwa bekee na-akpọ trowi atọbata ka ndị Roli ka jikwa ebe akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ eji maka ịga na ebu ọnụnọ ha ebe nwa bekee na-akpọ dugout bench ha oche ha ebe ha nọ eji maka na ọṅụ adịla n'ebe ahụ ọ bụrụ na ha na-emeri mana n'ihi gịnị ohere ha na-etufu kwa mgbe na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a ha abịakwala gụpụta onwe ha n'ala gụpụta onwe ha site n'ala ebe ha nọ wee gasị na akụ bọọlụ ụkwụ a nke bụ na ha lụ dịka ndị nọ n'olulu onye nọ n'olulu o mgbe ọ ga-eru ọgbalịsi ike niile o si n'olulu ahụ pụta ọnwụ ga-eju ya ahụ obi ụtọ ga-adị ya n'ihu.
Well, a lot of people are not fans of a team going ahead and then going back to defend a slim one-goal lead, because at the end of the day, it can also hamper your chances of winning that match if your defenders are not active 100% for the entirety of the game. And that is the reason why we've seen teams taking leads and at the end of the day, they drop points. But we've also seen teams that take the lead and then they cover their lead to the end of the game. Why am I saying all this? Ever since the De-Sapele Lions got ahead, they went defensive. Roli FC had more of the ball, started asking most of the questions, and right now they have equalized the game, and we are back on par, 1-1 as it stands. And if things ends this way, so far so good, it means that OIC will be on top of that South table with 3 points after getting that slender 1-0 win over Blackpool. I beg your pardon, Blackpool will be on top after getting that 1-0 win over OIC. And both Roli and the De-Sapele Lions will be second and third respectively, while we see OIC being the whipping boys of the group as we head into the next match day. However, we still have maybe less than 16 minutes to the end of this one. Anything can still give way, and maybe point my call. What a way to actually get off your marker. Raymond straight into the hands of Ezekiel Precious. I expected him to do better there, choose. And looking at the way that young fella who just came in the second half was able to wriggle his way through a tight angle right there in the middle, and of course placed that ball to him. I expected him to do better. Talking about Raymond, that chance was given to him by jersey number 8, Terugu. And of course, the referee is having an exchange of words with the player of De-Sapele Lions. Throwing. Launches into the box. Really clears. Of course, really, they'll be doing their bit to see if they can be able to go ahead in this one, while De-Sapele Lions seems to have woken from their sleep as they are also pushing to definitely get another goal and get back to leading the game, where really will become the chasing pack. At this point, anything is possible in football, but both teams will have to be very careful. Throw into Roli FC in Sapele's own half. 13, of course, Idris giving it to Ugiabe, who was dispossessed, and they're coming forward right now talking about Eze. Well, dispossessed. Of course, just remember when we talked about that man Friday, Abata, who was the person who will say that it will be very interesting to see him score on a Friday. Well, so far so good. He's the one who has been able to, he was the one who got that goal rather for Roli FC. So what a way to make it count on a Friday. Of course, a player is down on the top for Roli, and that is none other than Idris. He's limping. Yeah, he's back on his feet. Throw into the De-Sapele Lions as we see the heavens finally pouring out their showers. Raymond trying to bully attackers too. Nothing is exciting than seeing your pointmen tracking back to help the team treat. Of course, that's a problem we see with so many big players in world football that find it very difficult tracking back. And Whoa! That was a deflection that would have resulted into another goal for Raleigh FC. Well, let's even take out the time to talk about the August break. You know, it's one thing we know in this part of the country when it's raining. The August break is that period where you expect the rains to abate, at least for some time. But in the last few years, we've seen that a change in climate has also affected our weather conditions. So far, so good. We don't even know when the rainy season is again. I remember late last December, as of December 29th, 30th, it was still raining heavily in the city. And the climate change is something that we really need to talk about. So, right now, do you think that the term August break is still something that people should hold on to? Terugo with the ball. Very diminutive player. Good with both feet. Raymond, chance. Oh, Raymond has missed more chances than I can actually count. And it's just so disappointing when you expect one of your best players to be very sharp. Half a chance is enough for a striker to touch the ball in. This is almost the second similar chance he's been having in this game that he did not make use of. Of course, it can be really heartbreaking, heart-wrenching and disappointing, but then it's football. Well, you just have to ensure to take every chance as it comes, because if you don't, it can be counterproductive. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a corner. 83 minutes of action on the clock. Raleigh FC corner. Well, the referee spots an infringement, and that's a foul. TikTok says the clock. We are winding down as it stands. Raymond again from the left-hand channel to Terugu, who gives it to Idris, launches it deep. Jersey number 10. And he was trying to dribble everyone inside. Raymond. Chance, but no one in particular that goes begging. It's a goal kick. and choose, even though we might say it's too early to say, but seems like this is a game that is going down for a draw. Well, of course, the player is down on the turf, requiring medical attention. As we see, seems like it's a more serious issue than we thought, because we are seeing the Red Cross medical personnel lifting him up with a stretcher. Of course, Eze, the De-Sapele player. And just to let you know that the player who was removed is Idris Momosani. The defense of Roli has been pristinely fantastic in the last few minutes, and they make it count. Talking about the De-Sapele Lions. Chance, but then couldn't get the ball down the way he wanted. Talking about the man donning the jersey number 7, Omar Sola Mike. Free kick, we are seeing where jersey number 16 is coming off. It's coming off for jersey number 23, Umi. Throw in to De-Sapele Lions. 88 minutes on the clock. Opportunity, but then it's back to Ezekiel Precious. In Swinger, well, of course, Okura Rinze saw that coming. De-Sapele Lions. Beautifully done there by that central defender. That is happy. 21, Ubiabe. Rolly FC. Happy. Since it's looking for Raymond, couldn't get to him. But then Harrison, still within touching distance. The referee says no penalty. Despite the shouts, Harrison, very tall player. Terugu couldn't get to that. And they're moving. JC number 7, Austin Matthew, looking for 7. I beg your pardon for the De-Sapele Lions is Omosola Mike. Oh my God. Ball to Raymond right now. There is a player that is on the top. The player change about to be affected. Jersey number 9 for the De-Sapele Lions, coming in for jersey number 17, Harrison. And that's Benson Sumaila. Benson Sumaila is coming in for Emmanuel. Long one. And of course, it's a corner kick. 90 minutes on the clock. And we're waiting to see what the fourth official will motion as the additional time. Infringement. And of course, the De-Sapele Lions can now heave a sigh of relief. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the second game. And of course, the De-Sapele Lions won, Rolly FC won. But choose your final assessment as we begin to go. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we say bye-bye. I'm the sports pastor.